105.5 FM. This is hoping that you've been having a great day, and we also hope that you're having an awesome time right about now. Welcome to the show. My name is Oluwatomilara Ademujimi.
And we're still in the month of January in the year 2024, but then we move.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, and of course the ladies are ready to start the show this evening. I am Ibukunluwa Olagunju, but you can call me Omajuwa.
You're smiling too much.
Why are you laughing?
They're trying to be sophisticated, like to me and all my ladies and gentlemen. Happy Saturday. I'm Folakemi Mighty, and welcome. Thank you for joining us again.
Okay, so what we have for you today, but before we go into what we have today, I think we should talk about last week's edition of the show, because we got a number of reactions on the post that we made. In fact, somebody said, "Oh my."
What's Doma?
I mean, let me start from here. So someone said,
in case anybody's joining us for the first time,
okay,
I think we should let who is listening for the first time know that last week was the bomb.
Yes, it was.
And yes, we talked about
deal breakers,
a whole lot of it. And guess what? Some reactions there.
Okay, so somebody said, if you have full knowledge of what you believe in, you definitely want to go for someone who believes what you believe in.
Oh, you brought them.
I just
you
said,
understand. You understand.
Yes. And then someone said, my own experience is that religion can be a problem, as was for me. Now I am in a relationship with someone believing in the same things, and it is just better for me. That's just my own experience, though.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So someone else said,
I think we should be mentioning.
Okay, we should mention this. Okay, let me start. So the first person is boyfriend Snow. Then the next person is Onyi B. No, Onyi Baby. Only baby. Oh, yeah. Now we've got one. That's that. Oh, the glorified. The glorified said, "Real Omajuwa, you're right. Don't be equally yoked with unbelievers." Okay.
Let them know.
I don't want us to actually delve into that, but when you say unbelievers, that's someone who does not believe in anything
at all. Yeah.
No.
I think it's quoting a part of
the scripture.
I understand. But I'm saying that whether we are Christians or Muslims,
we
or
all
Buddhists, we have something we believe in.
Yeah.
So we are not unbelievers.
As long as you are not my religion,
it's okay. Me, being Alaja, Africa. I mean, this is
I cannot even imagine myself covering my head. And this is not to say that people would do that there's anything wrong with them. It's just the way I am. Even when I'm going to church, I find it difficult to just focus up every single day.
Presenting.
The reason I don't cover my head is because those scarves are expensive.
Oh,
I just don't like it.
I actually wanted to pick up that style for a while and say, okay, I want to cover up. Why not?
I think some people, I think it's just the headache that comes with it. For some persons, it's the headache. But anyway, I mean, whatever you believe in, as long as you strongly have that
for you
faith,
guys,
in whatever you want to do.
We're just saying that just make sure that you and your partner you are in sync with your beliefs or religion, so that sometime you won't have to be, thinking about it again.
Of course. Okay, so to what we have for you today, drum rolls. So straight to what we have for you today. Now, this is a concept that I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with and they can relate to, because everywhere you go is something you hear about or even experience, and that is female rivalry. So what do you think leads to, should we define the term? I think a lot of people know what it is.
I think we should probably just say what we think it is.
Okay, so I put it
because whether we like it or not, I feel like every single person has dictionary or some form of way that they can find out the dictionary meaning. For me, I feel like rivalry can be positive and negative. And I feel like the positive would be when you are seeing somebody as a competition, but not a competition in the sense that you want to beat that person, but a competition in the sense that I like what this person is doing. I feel like I can learn one or two things from what this person is doing, and I don't hope that person comes down
for me to be up there,
for me to get there. Understanding that everybody can fly at the same time. I think that would be the positive one for me. But the negative one would be probably me now making or putting in effort, or even just hoping that person comes down from the high so that I can be where the person is, or I start plotting, or I start spreading negative narrative about that person. That is where it becomes negative for me.
Okay.
Rivalry can yield positive or negative results. You understand? But I think rivalry in its real sense is not actually a positive like that.
I think we should tilt more towards competition.
Dictionary is competing for the same thing together. Like, for instance, now we want to get to a certain position together, so we're competing for it. There's a rivalry between us.
Yeah, and then to come a little softer, sometimes it has to do with our looks. It has to do with, I want to be there also. You understand? And then when we look at it another way also, in polygamy, there's always rivalry.
I want to be the favorite wife.
Exactly. And then sometimes you go beyond, or you go, you I don't want to say outstep your boundary, but then sometimes you even hurt your own self.
When you become desperate.
Exactly. Desperation is in it and all that.
Okay,
So,
I mean, I quite agree with what you guys said, because if you think about it, one of the things that would come once you are trying so hard to beat somebody is that you become jealous and then you become envious. And now, envy and jealousy, they do a lot of things to our own mind, our own self, because you think you're doing it to other people, but before you know it, you are the one that is even facing the problems, because you're the one not comfortable. You're the one suddenly unhappy because you're the one feeling the negative feeling.
And if care is not taken, there's a way that you can even lose yourself, because there's a way that that person that you're competing with is like your guide. Well, instead of, for instance, now let's say I like Tumi's fashion sense, and I feel like Tumi looks so beautiful today, but I know that I can look more beautiful, so I'm more focused on if she's wearing flare dress today, so I have to go and make some flare that will be better than her. Maybe I'll show more cleavage, maybe I'll make it shorter, maybe I'll make it longer, and then you find out that before you know it, I keep on looking out for what Tumi is wearing, and I lose, that sight of what I would want to wear as a person. I'm just using that as an analogy, not literally what she's wearing.
Rivalry can be in different ways, and it comes in different versions. For example, imagine sisters. There's always rivalry between sisters sometimes, and then before you know it, some parents even kind of encourage it unknowingly, saying that look at your sister, that she's always doing this. I think that we ladies, or men as it were, must be conscious that you can't be this person. In life we run different races. You understand? So you cannot be this person. It's good. To me, it's wearing nice eyewear and I love it. I won't mind
getting
like
one of them.
It's different from I must wear this. I must outshine her. Those things even make you have a meet complex.
If you're into complex.
Because imagine that I now wear the guy glasses. It means that my face is not as far as it is. I like to wear the eye glasses.
And it doesn't even fit you.
Or my skin color does not even pop out in all of that. So sometimes we must be conscious that at a time in our life, that thing might want to sneak into our lives or our living, but we must be conscious of it.
Now, I think what I would say is that I think there's a place of personal evaluation, knowing yourself and knowing what works for you, and knowing that you're good enough, you're worth it, you're worthy, you're deserving, and stuff like that. Because I feel like it is when you feel like you lack some things that you see someone that has it, and then instead of you to be inspired to want to do that, you're more bitter. You're bitter rather, because you feel like what they have, you must have it. Now, instead of you to, they say this thing about how your only competition should be yourself and stuff, and it's really beautiful. But let's face it, a lot of people, their competition is not themselves. It's usually somebody else. It's usually what somebody is doing.
Have a kind of yardstick or someone that
I feel like once a person is like that, it comes from insecurities. Because people who are bitter towards other people who are toxic around other people who just cannot stand you, they're just uncomfortable when you're around, it's based on something that you have that they lack.
Some insecurity
that they have.
This got me thinking about how the most rampant term that you will see when it comes to rivalry is female rivalry, women rivalry. And this got me thinking about how some men even are of the notion and the belief that two women cannot genuinely
be friends,
want the best for themselves without looking for ways to outshine the other person. And as much as some might want to argue that is not so true, that some people, I think it takes extra effort. And the thoughts that I have right now is, number one, how did we get here? Where did this start from?
I think it comes from, she talked about parents. it comes from home. It comes from how you were treated. So you see people who had to deal with brothers. You know, I think I read someone say, I had 7 brothers. I've always been competitive. That's how they grew. That's how they groomed us. That's how they
always
raised
looking
us.
for ways to be noticed and liked.
So when she comes into a setting where it's just normal, she's surprised, like, no, it can't be normal here. Me, I'm from a place where we always compete with each other and stuff like that. That's one. Then 2, I feel like the people we find ourselves with, maybe our partners, our boyfriends, our, best friends, people we have around us, I think men, they also help to fuel that narrative. You see a man will tell his girlfriend that your friend does not like you. This person hates you. And they give you this notion. I saw somebody looking at you a type of way. They probably don't like you. People around us sometimes, they are the ones that feed us with these things. Now, the reason I now started from personally is there are times even when people give you opinions, you don't have to take them in because it comes from what people say to you. So imagine you're out with your man and there may be a lot of people maybe a lot of acquaintances also were there, and then somebody now say, maybe you now get married and then your boyfriend tells you, do you know that Skinny Cosby was even looking at your dress? Like, she was looking at you somehow. So because of that, you carry like, was she dressed better than I am?
Analyzing how she was looking.
Because you now want to, the thing that ladies do sometimes, that because you want to show that, because you want to make up for something you lack, you want to bring somebody down with the way you talk about
so
them.
that you appear as
okay,
better
so because
one.
I want to, let's talk about the outfit thing there. So because I feel like, to me, it's dressed better than I am. Because I don't want to feel bad that I did not look good. I have to say that to me, so there's something wrong with what to me is wearing.
Maybe the color does not even fit her skin. Maybe she shouldn't, that particular style does not even flatter her body. I love how you took it back home, because whether we like it or not, I think we've talked about childhood trauma before. There's a way that some things from our childhood follow us into adulthood, and then adulthood also contributes their own. And talking about how a child grows up, the example that you gave, imagine a home whereby you cannot even express yourself. Before you say A, your parents are saying, give us the zombie. What's the cocoa of what you are saying?
Let your brother talk.
Do you understand?
Let your sister talk.
And such a person is not allowed to express him or herself. Such a person goes into a room where she has to find a way to command everybody to just listen that I have something important to say. Or maybe in a home whereby all of them are light-skinned and you're the only one that is dark-skinned. And you're made to feel like you're the only one that is not beautiful. You see such person go out and then sees people that are light-skinned. The person just go automatically into a defensive mode that the skin says she even have pimples, or she has acne, or she has, a lot of things just to make that person feel a little bit down. And that way you're able to make yourself feel like, okay, at least I'm perfect in some type of way.
Is the trying to bring somebody down because you want to lift yourself high and because you feel like you must be high above them, that brings in the rivalry and the stuff like that.
And also I want to add that it's the ladies' lounge, and then a number of ladies someday would be mothers or homemakers, and it starts from us. If imagine that I have 2 girls. For some reason, maybe the years or the space between them is not so much. For some reason, I'll buy something that is alike. Okay, let me use this as an example, a life example, not to bring my nieces down. I have twin nieces. One is dark, the other is fair. At some point, the darker one feels that she's not finer. They are the ones that don't look alike, are the identical.
Yeah, no, unidentical.
They are the unidentical. Yeah. Okay, so they don't look alike, and then so Kenny feels she's dark, and then Kenny feels that whatever Taiwo wears pops out more
because of her color.
And then she would say, and at the beginning when they were growing, they're now about 9, I think. When they were growing around their 6 to 8, she was always saying, Kenny's finer, and Taiwo is finer, Taiwo is this, Taiwo is that, why did you do this to Taiwo and all that? And then I had to consciously tell their mother that let's watch out. There would be rivalry and it's not healthy for us. So we started letting Kenny know that yes, she's dark, Taiwo is fair, no one is better than the other. You understand? Wear this color. And then our mom also was saying it unconscious. Their mom was saying it unconscious that, let kind of wear red so that
her skin will pop.
And I'm like, no, whether she wears black or white, she's still going
color
to. So I think that we as members
not any color, but being conscious of the two of them.
Exactly. We as members of each community or society must also contribute or remove you know, from this kind of scenario. And then as they grew up, or as they grow now, we now make them to know that Taiwo is different from Kehinde. Taiwo is outspoken, Kehinde is outspoken, Kehinde is not. I mean, Taiwo is not, but Taiwo is this kind of person that commands attention. Taiwo is the person that wants this. Taiwo is the person that wants everything to be done properly. So as sisters, we have to consciously be telling them that no, whatever they give to your sister, they give to you looks good on you also. If they, then people seem to give Taiwo to attention, and I think it's this society. She's fairer, and so she's more sane, or she's easily seen anywhere she goes. And so we stop people from saying no. That if you greet Taiwo properly, you must greet Kehinde properly, and all of that.
I agree with you. It has to be stemmed from where they are growing up, because if care is not taken, this is how it comes up, and you just find that the dark one trying to find a way to just make up for her dark skin, trying to find a way for her to just be a little bit extra than the other one, and oftentimes the needing to be extra is usually unnecessary. And if care is not taken, there's a way that she can't even be sabotaging her own twin sister. And at the end of the day, you can say that it's not her fault. It's how she was brought up. It's not about whose fault it is. It's about the damage that it does in the long run. Take care. That's why they say that I want to have a child. It's not because you are of one age and you just feel like having a child. It's a whole life that will be handed over to you.
To add to what you guys have said, there's so much that needs to be done about people appreciating differences. Differences in complexion, differences in height, differences in dress sense, differences in how you want to put yourself out there. It comes from parents saying that you talk too much, your sibling is quiet. What's wrong with you? I feel like parents should stop doing that, because the moment you start sowing that seed of insecurity and low self-esteem, that child carries it to wherever she goes, and you find out that wherever she goes, that toxicity goes with her. Because whenever people are talking to someone who she feels like is better, she feels like, oh, it's because they don't appreciate her much. That's why. So maybe let's bring it home to people who do who have skills. So because you're a designer and you're slimmer, you feel like people would rather give just to somebody that is bigger, you know, because everything in your head revolves around that. I don't know if
all of this got me thinking about how, if talking about people that can talk and people that can reserve, especially in homes or whatever the dynamic might be, they can carry that same, I don't want to use, let me use this, their damaged self and inflicting more damage to other people that may have worked on themselves. I've been in certain rooms, I've been in certain instances where anybody that knows me, really knows me, knows that I am reserved. Forget that I'm working on radio. I believe in not just talking because people are talking. If you're having a conversation, I feel like I don't want to be in that conversation. There's nothing you want to do. You're not going to bring me to that conversation. But I've been in a room where some people are not comfortable with that. And they feel like, oh, if this person is not talking, if this person is not joining this conversation, this person is just proud. This person is just too full of herself, or this person is just this and that. And to me, that is reflecting quite a number of insecurity on that person's part. But if I am not so grounded in myself, there's a way that their damaged self, where they believe that, oh, she's so proud of herself, she's so full of herself, just for me to prove to them that it's not like I'm like proud though. I just, so is it that I now do shalaye and be explaining myself, or I now find myself feeling the need to join conversations that I don't want to be into. So as much as you might say, oh, if you like, work on yourself, if you like, don't work on ourselves, we can do better. If I train my child to understand that we have individual differences, like Tumi said, there's a way that we all collectively, do better and not transfer, project our damages and our insecurities on other people.
So in a way, we are all agreeing that rivalry is actually toxic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How is it not toxic? Yeah. It's toxic.
Because
no. I'm so sorry for agreeing so far. It can be toxic.
It's when you even put it as competition that is less toxic. Rivalry is toxic.
No, I'm saying that.
It's when people are competing for the same thing. So rivalry is toxic. It's toxic.
When we say it's toxic, it means that it is. But I'm saying that it can be. That means it has the ability to.
Okay.
So whether or not it is. It depends on the person.
I think we can break it down to healthy competition and the unhealthy kind.
Absolutely.
So healthy competition is when you see someone doing that you think is doing better than you, and then you aspire to be like them. You're inspired. Unhealthy is when you find all means to either bring them down to in the presence of other people, or people that just stay in people's comment sections to insult them. It's part of it. You see a lady that is well dressed, you feel like her cleavage is showing.
She's not even
fine.
All the ladies are these on these days. Baddies that don't want them to
there's something that
is
going on social media right now. That people are saying that what are you getting on Valentine's Day? So it's even plastic. That's one of it's for cruise. Like I usually say, it's for cruise. But for some people will take it serious. So because somebody's partner got her flowers and then she will post it, you want to stand at the place where you be saying it's just plastic. Hey, the money is not even plenty. Everything like that is like 8,000 naira. How much is chocolate? How much is that's what some people will be doing. Because instead of you appreciate that, okay, I'm single this year. Next year I might not be single. Next year I might be single or whatever. But it is appreciating that it is okay for somebody to be in a relationship and for you to not be. But some people will not be happy. And that's why I was saying appreciating differences at every stage in life, at every phase. See, there were times when a lot of us didn't even get to make our hair and we're looking at people who had hairstyles. You know, when we were growing up and then your parents would say, well, you have to cut your hair. And we're looking at people who had hairstyles. You know, when we were growing up and then your parents would say, well, you have to cut your hair. Appreciating that I'm also okay on my low cut. We make me not feel like she's not even fine. The head did not even plait it straight. You know
and for me, another thing is people have to understand that you do not have to bring people down to climb, because that's another thing. That's another reason why some people would rather go all out, whatever it is that it will take, because they believe that if the person does not come down, they're not going to get
their level.
Let's give practical examples now. In the corporate world, in the business world, or even whatever the work can be, it can be formal, it might be informal. How they will say that, for instance, somebody gets promotion at work, and because she's female, they feel like, that person must have slept with somebody or must have done something extra. Somebody went to mix a style, and they says that maybe she's wearing what do they wear to snatch them gadu.
Yeah,
that's why you can snatch her waist like that. And just looking for ways to just console themselves.
You know
by
the
bringing
reality,
that person
the
down.
reality of this is that it starts from the mind. It's what you tell yourself. It is how you see other people. I mean, you see, I think I made a post 2 days ago about how people find it hard to like a post because you don't like somebody. Like, how bad can it get for a human being?
And then they will keep following the person.
You know what's crazy? So you will say, I don't like Folakemi mighty style. But every time she posts, you are always there to see.
You're stalking. I say posting.
Every time she's maybe doing a show, you are watching. But it's so hard for you to say you're doing well done. You're just clicking. You know, I was saying that. How do people find it difficult to like a post? And then one thing that I usually always say is that people should also learn to be better. See, enough of making excuses for your background. Enough of, you lacked something. Everybody lacked something as a child. Everyone of us did. So if me as a person, I'm trying to work on my own self-esteem, you will not bring me down because you did not work on yourself. It's going to be on you.
Absolutely.
So people should stop making excuses for people's background. What kind of life do you want to build for your children? Okay, if you are saying that you should train your children, is it with a toxic mind? Is it with a bitter mind that you want to train those children? So if you don't want to work on yourself, then you should probably choose that your lineage like that. That's how all of you will keep on being.
So it's just important for us to always do this self-analysis.
Check yourself.
There are sometimes that I scroll, honestly, this is just one confession that is not fine. But there are sometimes that I'll scroll and I will like a picture, I'll smile. But you know that social media ethics says like and you will not like. You know, I think it starts from there.
Yes,
also, or it's part of it. You know, so it's important for us to always self-analyze. Always, just make sure that you're doing the right thing, because at the end of the day, it still goes back to you. You don't want to go back home and be feeling bad. You don't raise
you have sleepless nights.
That are not, fantastic in code. So it's just important for us to always understand, like Tumi said, and I love to take that away, that we all must embrace our differences.
Yes, nobody has a perfect life. I think people should also know that. And I think people know. They just choose to ignore. Everybody knows that nobody has a perfect life. But if somebody is trying so hard, despite the issues, despite the problems, to keep themselves up there, it is even not good enough that you will stand in a corner trying to bring the person down because you're just not comfortable they are winning. And you know what's crazy? The person you think is winning is probably not even winning.
Not even winning at our own level.
You know, it's just trying. This is just, people are just usually trying to, one thing that I also always say is that there's time for everybody.
Absolutely.
There's time for everything. And
And being happy for that person that is thriving right now does not mean that you're not going to get to that which you want to get to as well. Yeah. And when you're so focused on why is it only her, there's always why is it only her? There's always there's a way that you will not be able to find that time to make sure that you put in the work that person is putting in for you to also climb the ladder that person is climbing.
And you know that some people, they can post their one win 10 million times. You understand? They have decided to just
milk it.
You understand? So if it will please you also, win once, post it 10 million times. With a session of likers, we're going to like it, we're going to compliment you and all of that. Life is beautiful if you really know how to learn.
It depends on the perspective that you can see it from.
Okay. There's a song by Omajuwa, Personal Race. I love anybody to listen to, and maybe they're going to play it after the show.
This time,
honestly, it's important for you to know that I know Phoebe you know Phoebe me.
Right.
Honestly. And that's one of the lyrics of those songs. It's important for us to know. To me, it's doing fine. To me, it looks beautiful. I want to look like her. Does not mean that I will go extra mile or probably just go and be begging for money to wear this purple Ankara or to go and, it's
this got me thinking about another reason why people feel the need to be in rivalry with other women. They need to. I like the way Folakemi Mighty dresses. I like the way she smiles. I like how her profile is on social media. I love the attention that she gets. And I'm just, so in competition with, I want to be her. So if I'm making effort to be her so much and I'm just not able to attain it, there's a way that I try to soil her name. Maybe I say, she even bought the follower. The top that she be herself is even fake. She's not even wearing the original. Just trying to look for ways to just downplay the hard work that person must have put into what she's doing. Just because I have tried so much to be her, but I cannot be, and I'm trying to console myself instead of going back to my closet and reviewing myself and repicturing where I want to get to. Okay, this is where I want to get to. This is what I can do. This is what I can learn from what Folakemi Mighty is doing and just be better as a person.
See, the reality is that there's something I saw online as wrap up. They said, don't compete with your helper or something. Somebody that you should probably be moving with because you can learn and gain from their experience. But because you have put yourself in a place where you have to hate them, then you have no choice than to not know the secret, to not know anything, but keep sulking in that bitterness and that toxicity.
Another thing that people forget is the fact that we all look beautiful now. We all sound like we've put in growth in ourselves. But you do not know how many years it took me to look like this. You do not know how many years it took me to attain the emotional intelligence that I have, the level of growth that I have. The fact that I may be 30 something does not mean that it didn't take me 30 something for me to attain that emotional growth. And it doesn't mean that we are of the same age that you're 30 something does not mean that you have to attain that level of emotional intelligence. Yours could be 40 something and there's nothing bad in that. There's no time. Nobody is doing timekeeper on whatever it is that you're achieving. Just make sure that you're putting in your best and you are working with your time.
I think I will just wrap up by this Yoruba proverb that says that I always forget. So Entoma Weshele Shisari or something. That I'm sure people understand what I mean. That we all have our personal races that were running. So don't let another person's timeline affect your own life. People will live for themselves. So why not live for yourself as well? And don't compete with other people. Just live and let's live.
Rivalry is real. So check yourself and know that I cannot be you. You cannot be me.
And I was just to say that sometimes we are the toxic people. So also in checking yourself, check if you also have those toxic traits that you're trying to look for in other people and just amend.
And get things doing with your life. Focus on your life. There's a way that when you are so focused on improving yourself that you won't even see other people, and when you see them, you're seeing them out of the lessons that you want to pick, not that you want to compete
and
with
you're able
them.
to be excited for them.
Absolutely. And there's a way that when you celebrate other people, there's a way that the joy spreads around
I'm happy.
you.
Okay, the show returns next week. Join us and let's have another amazing time. We hope that you enjoy the rest of your time. My name is Tumzara Ademunjimi.
And I am Omajuwa.
Okay, quickly, please do well to drop comments for us. We'll be glad to read from you. My name is Folakemi Mighty. Have a fantastic week.
And absolutely, please watch the video, like, share, and comment. Catch ya next week.